The Vanishing of the Flannan Isles Lighthouse Keepers. On December 26, 1900, the relief ship Hesperus arrived at the Flannan Isles, a remote archipelago off the coast of Scotland, to find the lighthouse deserted. The three lighthouse keepers, Thomas Marshall, James Ducat, and Donald MacArthur, had vanished without a trace. The Hesperus's captain, Jim Harvey, sent a telegram to the Northern Lighthouse Board, reporting that the lighthouse was unmanned and that the three keepers were missing. He also noted that the weather had been stormy in the days leading up to his arrival, but that the lighthouse itself appeared to be in good condition. The Northern Lighthouse Board immediately dispatched a steamer to the Flannan Isles to investigate. When the steamer arrived on December 30th, the investigators found the lighthouse to be in perfect order. The clocks were running, the fires were lit, and the food was still on the table. But the three keepers were nowhere to be found. The investigators searched the lighthouse and the surrounding islands, but they could find no sign of the missing men. There was no struggle, no blood, no clues. It was as if the keepers had simply vanished into thin air. The disappearance of the Flannan Isles lighthouse keepers remains one of the greatest unsolved mysteries in maritime history. There are many theories about what happened to the men, but none of them have been definitively proven. One of the most popular theories is that the keepers were swept away by a giant wave. The Flannan Isles are located in a very stormy area, and the waves can reach up to 100 feet high. It is possible that a wave crashed over the lighthouse and swept the keepers into the sea. Another theory is that the keepers were killed by a lightning strike. The Flannan Isles are also known for their frequent lightning storms. It is possible that a lightning bolt struck the lighthouse and killed the keepers instantly. Still, another theory is that the keepers were murdered. There are reports of strange lights and noises being seen and heard around the Flannan Isles in the years leading up to the keepers' disappearance. It is possible that the keepers were murdered by a madman or by supernatural forces. In the years since the disappearance of the Flannan Isles lighthouse keepers, there have been many reports of sightings of the men. Some people claim to have seen them walking along the cliffs of the Flannan Isles, while others claim to have seen them standing in the windows of the lighthouse. There have also been reports of strange noises coming from the lighthouse. Some people have heard the sound of the lighthouse bell ringing, even though the bell has been removed. Others have heard the sound of voices coming from the lighthouse, even though the lighthouse is empty. In 1960, a group of paranormal investigators visited the Flannan Isles. They spent several days at the lighthouse, conducting experiments and trying to make contact with the spirits of the missing keepers. On the last night of their stay, the investigators claimed to have seen the spirits of the keepers walking along the cliffs. They also claimed to have heard the sound of the lighthouse bell ringing. The investigators' claims were met with skepticism by many people, but there is no doubt that the Flannan Isles lighthouse is a place of mystery and intrigue. The disappearance of the three lighthouse keepers remains one of the most perplexing maritime enigmas of all time. In 2023, a team of scientists from the University of Edinburgh announced that they were planning to return to the Flannan Isles to investigate the disappearance of the lighthouse keepers. The scientists said that they were using new technologies that could help them to uncover new clues about what happened to the men. The scientists' investigation is still ongoing, but it has already yielded some interesting results. They have discovered a number of anomalies around the lighthouse, including strange magnetic fields and unexplained acoustic disturbances. The scientists are hopeful that their investigation will finally solve the mystery of the vanishing Flannan Isles lighthouse keepers. But until then, the mystery remains unsolved, and the Flannan Isles lighthouse continues to be one of the most haunted places in the world. Perched on a cliff overlooking the stormy sea, Beacon's End Lighthouse stood like a solitary sentinel, its light cutting through the night, guiding ships away from the treacherous rocks below. The lighthouse had earned a reputation among sailors, not just for its life-saving beacon, but for the chilling whispers that echoed in its empty halls. Samantha, the newly appointed lighthouse keeper, arrived with dreams of solitude and peace. However, as the nights grew longer, she began hearing unsettling sounds, a child's laughter echoing in the wind, and ghostly footsteps echoing up the stairs. The tales of shipwrecks and mysterious disappearances in the nearby waters seemed to seep into the very walls of Beacon's End, weaving a haunting tapestry of fear. One stormy night, as Samantha tended to the light, she saw a flickering figure at the edge of her vision, a ghostly child, drenched in seawater, staring with hollow eyes. The child beckoned, her voice carried by the wind, pleading for help. Terrified, Samantha followed, only to find herself in a room she had never seen before, filled with old toys and tattered books. As days passed, the lighthouse seemed to come alive with echoes of the past. Samantha discovered that Beacon's End was once a haven for shipwrecked families, their children lost to the sea. The lighthouse had become a sanctuary, but also a graveyard, a place where the echoes of those lost lingered, seeking solace and companionship. Driven by curiosity, Samantha delved into the lighthouse's history. She uncovered a dark secret. An old keeper, driven mad by grief, had kept the children hidden. Away from the world, their laughter turned to whispers in the wind. The lighthouse had absorbed their innocence, becoming a beacon not just for ships, but for the lost souls trapped within its walls. Determined to free the trapped spirits, Samantha conducted a ritual, guiding the lost children to the afterlife. As the last whisper faded, Beacon's End felt lighter, as if the weight of its sinister past had been lifted. The storms grew gentler, and the lighthouse once feared became a symbol of redemption. Beacon's End Lighthouse, once haunted by the past, now stood as a symbol of hope. Samantha, forever changed by her ordeal, continued her duty, not just as a keeper of the light, but as a guardian of the lost souls who had found peace. And in the dark of the night, sailors spoke of a guiding light that was not just a beacon for their ships, but a promise of safety, earned through the redemption of Beacon's End.